What's up, guys? So I got a really good question here from Frankie. He wrote me an email and I wanted to answer this in video format. So Frankie asks, he says in the email, "Dear Alex, I want to learn natural building, but I have no experience. I'm considering either a carpentry or masonry apprenticeship with a local union, but I wonder if there's a better way to get started. And how did you get started, and what are your recommendations?" So first I'd have to ask Frankie, what are your intentions and long-term goals with natural building or earthen construction? Do you want to just know the skills, to know them for yourself, for your personal benefit, or do you want to do this as a career path? So I have to tell you, I'll give you the long answer first and then short answer. The long answer is doing this natural building or earthen construction as a career path is incredibly challenging. And if you don't come into it with business skills and knowing how to monetize such a small niche market, you're most likely going to fail, or you're going to struggle tremendously, and it's really not going to be worth it. So unless you have that background, I would steer you away from trying to learn natural building or earthen construction as a trade, because it's not an established trade at this point. There's very few people doing it. There's not a lot of money in this industry, if you want to call it that, yet. So it's really challenging business. So I would first ask you that, answer that question for yourself. What do you want out of it? The skills, or do you want to make money out of this? And if you want to make money, I'd steer you away from this and more towards the established trades. You mentioned carpentry and masonry apprenticeships. Those are both really great ways to go. You can make a decent living with both of those trades. I think carpentry trades pay a little more than masonry trades in general, unless you're a foreman in masonry. I've worked for a professional masonry company in the past, and you're mostly, 100% really, you're going to be working with brick and concrete block these days. Those skills are excellent. They don't translate incredibly well to earthen construction. If you really want to build up a skill set that's going to apply to earthen construction or natural building, I would go more towards a carpentry, because like I tell all my students, carpentry is probably the most beneficial skill to have in conjunction with earthen construction or natural building, because you need to have carpentry skills for pretty much everything you're going to do in this field, which I call earthen construction. I use carpentry for everything. For example, if I'm making concrete forms for a foundation, you have to make that out of wood. If I'm doing forms for either rammed earth or shuttered cob forms, got to make that out of wood. If you're making any kind of form for concrete, it's going to be out of wood, first of all. Like I just made a bunch of windows. I made windows for the Cobb building down in Florida. That was all made out of wood, all carpentry skills. Carpentry is going to come into play in pretty much every aspect of construction. Again, like roof, if you got to put a roof on, there you go. That's going to be wood majority of the time, unless it's metal or something. But carpentry skills are really essential no matter what. So if you can get into a carpentry apprenticeship, do that for 4 or 5 years, get your journeyman carpentry certification, you'll be good to go. You'll have an established career already, and at that point, if you really wanted to, maybe you could branch out and at least test the waters in natural building, earthen construction. It is a growing field, so in the future, I don't know how near in the future it's going to be, but in the future there will be companies that do this, and you could be hired on, or you could more easily start your own. So maybe more in the future you could try to do something like that, but right now it's incredibly challenging. I've worked it out, but I've struggled and made sacrifices over 10 years to get to this point to where I'm successful. So I really don't want to steer you in that direction because it's very risky, very challenging, especially if you're just starting out. Like if you're a young guy, you need some money, get into an established trade. That's a great way to go. Especially these days, I recommend to most young people, don't go to college, get into the trades. Unless you're going to college to do STEM, which is technology, science, computer programming, engineering, etc. I would not recommend people go to college these days. I would steer people towards the trades. You'll be trained, you'll be paid. It's paid training, basically. So you're going to be paid to be an apprentice. You're going to gain skills, and you're going to make a lot of money. You're not going to have any debt. And then all your friends who've gone to college for some useless degree get out of college with tons of debt and have no job. So the trades are a great way to go. I highly recommend the trades, but trying to get directly into natural building or earth and construction is not a realistic path to take. So yeah, I hope that answers Frankie's question. He also asked, how did I get started and all that. And yeah, I got started. I came from a very different background from construction. I studied business and accounting in school. I knew marketing, online marketing. So I had a whole business background that I was coming from. And then I created a earth and construction business with that in this niche. This is such a small niche. You have to have those skills or it's going to be so difficult. So yeah, I hope that's helpful for Frankie, and I hope that's helpful for you guys. If you do want to learn how to build with earth, I don't like the term natural building. I'll get more into that later, but if you want to build with earth and construction, I have my online courses. I also have hands-on classes. By the way, those are almost all full for the spring and summer. I have places left in August. Well, I have a couple left in June, and then a lot left in August. And I might have to open up another workshop in September or so, because I've got so many people wanting to learn these skills. And yeah, anyway, you can sign up for those. I'll leave links below. There's also the online courses. If you really want to learn these skills, I have tons of resources, free resources here on YouTube, and resources on my website. Links below. Check those out. But yeah, these are incredibly valuable skills. I teach you to do it yourself because you can save 50% of the cost of the house or the building by doing it yourself. There's so much labor that goes into earth and construction. If you can do it yourself and organize a project yourself, you're going to save literally 50% of the cost of the project. So circling back around, if you want to learn these skills as a trade or as a career path, probably not such a good idea right now. But if you just want to learn these skills for yourself, for your family, to build your own house, to save money, lower costs, definitely a smart choice. So I hope this video was informative in some way for you, and I'll leave links to everything, more information below. If you want to learn these skills, check out the rest of my videos here on YouTube, and I'll talk to you all in the next video.